You made it to session 8. You made it. As you can tell, we're back in Azusa, back at our favorite coffee shop, Mantra. And every week, God has been speaking to us and showing us how we see ourselves in these commandments, these not laws. We've talked about it so much now. We know that it's really our Father's love reaching out to us, compelling us how to live. And here we are in session 8, where we go to the ever popular one. Here it is. Thou shalt not steal. Is that for people that just have criminal records? Or is it for people that have hearts that have a tendency towards greed? You can see where I'm going already. Come on inside. Listen, we've got a great life group tonight. We've got mixed, all ages, all stages. You've seen them before. Come on in. Let's dig into this thing. And no stealing. Don't steal nothing. Come on, let's go. It's gonna be good. Hey, welcome to session 8. You made it, session 8. Let's make some noise. Oh, yeah. Listen, every week we've been talking about God's love and how he took time to write in stone his heart, his love, his compassion for us by giving us these 10 laws of love and how it is we should live in response to his great love that was poured out upon us. Have y'all been having a good time? Has it been good? Yeah. Oh my goodness, every week. Well, you know what's been crazy to me is how every week I think, nah, this was not gonna get me. Nah, I don't do this one. Nah, I'm safe this week. And every time, boom, it's getting me. Every time, thou shalt not murder, who knew? Like, who knew? You know what I mean? So I'm excited this week. Thou shalt not steal. All right, so here's the question. Who in here has stolen something before? Anybody stolen something before? All right, well, let's talk about it. I want to hear a couple of I stole something stories. Who's willing to confess? Now listen, if you stole something and the statute of limitations has not run out, let's not disclose that, okay? All right, Chad.
When I first got my car, my parents actually were very grateful to give me money for gas, but I kind of took advantage of it and just started taking their credit card when I needed more gas. Without really telling them. So they would just start to figure out, hey, where's this charge from? I'm like, oh, I got gas last week, kind of thing. So yeah, we'll just take their credit card and go.
Stealing gas.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord have mercy. Charles, what about you?
Unfortunately, I've stolen so much food. It's like, if I'm walking when I went to junior college on campus, if they're having some event and there's food and I'm just walking by it.
You just walk up to the event.
I take like a little block of cheese.
It's like, hey, I'm a part of the yoga class reunion from 1958.
Sometimes I ask, but there's no one there to ask. You just help myself to a little bit.
Help yourself to a little bit. All right, okay. Anybody else? Yes.
Every once in a while at work, if it's really hectic or really busy and I need to take a little time, I'll take an extra 10, 15 minutes at break. I mean, it's time, you're a time thief, so you're taking more of the company's money, so.
Yeah, no, I think we've all done that. Well, I haven't, not at my job. Never done that. I feel like Jesus. I am standing around thieves when he was on the car. I am in a room full of thieves. Okay, now here's the second question. Has anybody ever been robbed? Have you ever been stolen from?
Yes.
Oh, Janice, tell us about that.
Well, we had just purchased a new home. We moved in on Saturday. We went to church on Sunday. And when we got home from church, someone had come in the backyard and broken in through the French doors and stole Ray's laptop and I'm gonna cry. All of my jewelry and my tennis bracelet, and took my new Prada briefcase to carry it all off in.
Oh, wow.
Put everything in that briefcase and just walked out down the street with it.
Wow. Joe, what about you? You said you've been robbed?
I was living in Portland, Oregon at the time, and came out to go to work in the morning, my car was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, and somebody had come in through the back, it was a pickup truck, and somebody had come in through the back of the topper, and I had a sliding glass window, and they had slid the glass window open, and I, being the person I am, I have a tendency on occasion to lock my keys in the car.
Yeah.
So I always carried an extra set, and I always carried an extra set of house keys and everything in the glove box. So the ignition keys, everything were right there.
It was all right there. Just
They
took
fired
it.
up, they were gone.
Yeah. What I want us to notice is how each of us, most of us said we had stolen something before, but the emotion of when you've been robbed, or when you've had something taken away from you, it hurts. You feel violated. You feel like a sense of safety, but we've all done it to someone else. It's this commandment, all of them are about hypocrisy, but this one is interesting. Listen to how Jesus describes it in Matthew. Jesus says this, chapter 6, verse 19. Hear this. He says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." When I listen to that, I draw the conclusion that you can't steal unless your heart is in the wrong place. If your heart is in the wrong place, then you can, but if your heart is in the right place, it is impossible for you to steal. So it's less an issue of where are your hands, but it's more of an issue of where is your heart. Because if your heart is laid up on the things of this world, then ultimately you're saying, I worship things and I'm willing to do whatever I gotta do to get them. But if your heart is laid up in treasures in heaven, then you recognize that it all belongs to God, it all is God's, and I'm trusting it. Because seated in the root of stealing, you gotta know this, is this idea of scarcity and a lack of trust for God's sufficiency for your life. At some point, in order for you to take something from somebody else, you've got to decide, God, what you have provided for me is not enough. So I've got to take, or I've got to steal, or watch this one. Stealing is also not necessarily taking, but it's also just keeping. Because sometimes if you keep something that you already have that you're supposed to be sharing, then that's still stealing. God says in the book of Malachi, will a man rob God? How have we robbed God? When you have kept your tithes and your offering. So here's the deal. You can steal several ways. You can steal, first of all, stealing happens in your heart before it ever happens in your hands. And stealing happens when you keep. And stealing also happens when you take. There's some things that you were designed and created to share, but you keep them. Why? Because of a scarcity, because of a lack of trust, because of a fear, because of just downright self-centeredness and self-righteousness. You have this mine mentality. And I fear that as we look at Christianity and we look at our hearts, the theme in our hearts is mine. And we look like children. Because the essence of it is, it's all about me and it's all about mine. And when you live that way, you've set your heart up to rob God and to steal. Yeah, thou shalt not steal. It's way bigger than robbing a 7-Eleven. It's when you withhold things that were designed for you to share. It's when you keep things that you should be giving away. And it's when you, and it is when you take stuff from other people. And it's not just taking somebody's truck, taking someone's jewelry. What about taking someone's time? What about taking a little extra on the clock on the job? Or what about if you're an employee of people? What about not doing due diligence with their wages and with their payment, and thinking about your own profit before you think about blessing them and being a bonus and giving to them? If your heart's in the wrong place, it won't take long at all for your hand to end up in the wrong place. So this issue is much more about a heart than about the hand. I guess I just want to get feedback. What do y'all think about that? Kathy?
I totally get that. Because I always associate stealing with two other things. My theory is if you lie,
Yeah.
you cheat, you automatically steal.
Yeah.
Because they all go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Because you have to lie to yourself to justify what you're going to take or not share, which then you result in stealing.
Yeah.
Whether it's in a relationship and you do something, you steal respect
Yeah.
or trust.
Yeah.
If you know, by cheating, there's so many things that are associated with stealing that the other two have to go hand in hand. So
Yeah.
when I'm angry or somebody's done something to me, those are the three things that come to mind. You
Yeah.
lied to me, you cheated on me, you stole from me.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah. What's scary about all of these commandments is that the more you study them, they're all first cousins. It's like if you mess with one, you mess with them all. Like they're all right there together.
It really hits home because when you talk about stealing, you know, we started off, it was all material. Lost my jewelry, I lost my truck, I lost my clicker. But as you put that into your heart and you place that there, then you're realizing that, yeah, I think I have a really good relationship with God. But if my heart's not in the right spot and I'm stealing not only material things, because I'm stealing a lot of emotional things. I'm stealing a lot of things not in that physical material me realm.
Yeah.
That once you realize that, it has a really serious impact on where is my relationship with God? Because if it doesn't make you think about it, something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other?
You talked about how sometimes lying is keeping something, and the first thing that came to my mind is the grace that God extends to us. I'm really apt to apply that to myself, but I'm really, really stingy when it comes to giving it to others. You know, if I do something at home, like I didn't do the dishes, I'm like, well, it's because of X, Y, Z. But if my husband doesn't do the dishes, then I'm like, well, you didn't, and I'm not as gracious.
You don't use XYZ for him. You use some other letters for him. Yeah. C session number 3. Yeah. Janice?
I was thinking about at work. If you are on commission, if anything you do is commission, then you can't ethically sell someone something they do not need. If you do, if you are caught up in personal scarcity or that God is not providing, then you will sell something they don't need, and that's stealing.
Yeah. Oh, the conviction's getting deep in here. It's getting thick. Here's something that's powerful. Jesus on the cross is hanging between what? 2 thieves. I guess as I study this commandment, it happens every week. I end up seeing myself, and we all see ourselves as thieves. Here's the thing. It's all about where your heart is. There are 2 thieves on the cross. One looks at Jesus, turns his heart towards Jesus, and says, Jesus, remember me. And Jesus says, with that kind of heart, I'll see you in paradise today. So there's the only difference between the 2 thieves is one put their heart in the treasure of heaven in Jesus, and the other one kept his heart focused on him. I guess if you're a thief and you're watching this, and if you're breathing, you're a thief and you're watching this, the difference is made with where you put your heart. What would it mean for you to turn your heart to Jesus and say, Lord, I refuse to worship the things of this world. I will worship you and you alone. I refuse to have my hands fueled by greed, where they hold tightly or take intentionally, but my hands will surrender and steward what you've blessed me to have, and steward that in a way that brings your name honor. The only difference between one thief and the other is where you put your heart. So I guess the question is, thief, where are you putting your heart? Where are you putting your heart? That's what we're going to be talking about. Keep the conversation going in your living room, and we're going to keep it going in our living room. All the thieves make some noise.